Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of my podcast, Scintillating Moment TV. So last time I shared my video on feminine health and a lot of people sent in their comments. I had to talk with some people one on one and it was really nice. Thank you for always coming out to share um, what bothers you, coming out to talk about your health. It's nice and that's what we're here for. Okay, so thank you. And for people that keep asking for videos, I'm very sorry it takes some time, but you need the best. So we take our time to give you the best. All right, thank you. And I'm sorry about that. I hope there will be no further delays. So I was on the internet some weeks ago and I saw something about fibroids, feminine health. Then I was seeing a lot of things about some guys commenting how fibroids have become everywhere, and they kept saying that it's as a result of how these young ladies live their lives. And then I saw some comments like a lot of them have been through several types of abortion, they take several types of pills, and all of that. Okay, I'm here to tell you the actual causes of fibroids and make you understand that some people that have this fibroid is not because of the lifestyle in quote. Hmm? Okay, let's get to understand what this fibroid is all about. Let us not blame people for what is not even or something that doesn't even cross it. So by the end of today's discussion or topic, you will be able to judge for yourself if those things that have been mentioned in quote actually cause fibroid. And of course, I'm not trying to promote any of those. No, I'm not trying to promote any of those. But then let's get our facts right. So, what is fibroid? Fibroids are just growths. Another thing I heard that fibroids can be cancerous. Hmm. Fibroid, uterine fibroid, also known as leiomyoma. They are just non-cancerous tumors. Non-cancerous tumors. Hi lady, hi man, it is non-cancerous, okay? So do not put your mind to the fear or in the battle of, oh, I have cancer. And you don't have cancer, okay? It's non-cancerous. Now, the second thing is about the positioning of this fibroid. Where is this fibroid? Because there are different types of fibroid, and the different types of fibroid actually has a name and they have where they are located. So the first one, which is very, very common, it is the intramural fibroid, which grows on the muscular layer. It just grows on the muscular layer. Then the second one, the submucosal type of fibroid, grows under the lining, the inner lining of the uterus. Meanwhile, we have this one that has a very thick stalk. We call it the pedunculated type of fibroid. We have another type of fibroid that actually grows, that type of fibroid grows in the cervix. Actually, the uterus has three parts, three main parts. We have the fundus, we have the body, we have the cervix, the cervical part of the uterus. The cervical part of the uterus is that part of the uterus that connects to the vagina, which which leads to the exterior. Okay, so we have that. And of course, we also have another one that grows on the outer surface of the uterus that also spreads to the it spreads somehow to I think the pelvis. Yeah, it spreads to the pelvis. That's the subserosal fibroid. So it grows on the lining of the outer surface of the uterus and spreads to the pelvis. That's the subserosal. So I think we've mentioned the five types of fibroids already. So what are the causes of this fibroid? In the last podcast I did, I talked about how important estrogen and progesterone is in feminine health and their function in feminine health. Now, an imbalance in these hormones can expose a woman to different diseases. One of them is fibroid. Another risk factor is obesity. Obesity is a very high risk factor. Another risk factor is family history of fibroids. Of course, if you have a family history of fibroid, there's some things that just scientists have noted it to be in the gene. It's It makes you to be at risk of such a disease. A very good example is fibroid. Now we have another one. Another risk factor we should be considering is early onset of menstruation. If you have early onset of menstruation and late onset of menopause, these two factors play a great role in exposing you to fibroids, and of course, not having children exposes you to the risks of having fibroid. Imagine having your menstruation early. You have an early onset of menstruation, and then you do not have children on time. It exposes you to the risks of having fibroids. Now, let's talk about the symptoms you might experience if you have a fibroid. Oh, I'm experiencing the symptoms and the symptoms. What are the symptoms I should look at and then I should rush to the hospital? Perhaps it might be. So we have excessive or painful. But it's not excessive or painful. It's excessive and painful menstrual period. If there is excessive bleeding and then it's very painful, it's a risk factor. Is an idea is a symptom you should talk to your doctor about. And then we have cases of lower back pain. We have feeling of fullness or pressure in the rectum. And then we have constant or frequent urination and cases whereby you're seeing your period in between period. For example, your period, that's your menstrual period, you start seeing your period today being 18th or 19th today. You start seeing your period today, and then it stops next tomorrow, and in 4 days time or in 7 days time it starts again, and then you see it for like 3 days, it stops, and then it starts. Is a period in between period. We talked about the menstrual cycle, how it goes, the physics, the space in between. So these are some symptoms that when you see, whoa, I should please talk to a doctor about my health. Okay. And then we have another case of okay, let's talk about the diagnosis. When you get to a doctor, the doctor will not just look at you and say you have fibroid. There's some tests you might have to run. You can run a laparoscopy, they can use an ultrasound, they can do an MRI for you, they can just these three are very important. Of course, they would run them for you and know if you have a fibroid. And of course, they must have taken note of your family history and asked you several questions. Now, what is the treatment regimen for this fibroid? Because a lot of people keep complaining, I've treated fibroid, oh, and then it started again. And then I asked someone, how did you treat it? He said, I took some drugs. Okay, now I want you to understand that treatment of fibroid depends on the type of fibroid that you have, okay? It depends on the size, the location, basically the type of fibroid you have. So if you have, if a doctor decides to give you an over-the-counter pain relief just to relieve you of the pains of the fibroid, that doesn't mean you've treated the fibroid. It just gives you over-the-counter pain relief to help relieve the pains you have. Okay, and then we also have people that go for the gonadotropin releasing hormone agonist. Now, this treatment regimen, a lot of people go for it, but then they forget to understand that this treatment regimen is actually um, a treatment you take and then prepare for the surgery. It helps to shrink. What it does is just to shrink the fibroid to a reasonable size. It shrinks it. If you stop taking it, it starts growing again. So most of the times when they ask you to take this GnRH agonist, it's just for you to like shrink it and then prepare for the surgery and have your surgery. Now there are cases of they might ask you to go for a laparoscopy surgery, where is a non-invasive type of surgery. The doctor just through the cervix takes out the fibroid. Is mostly for people who have very little fibroids or cervical fibroids or pedunculated fibroids towards the cervix. So this laparoscopy is always for them. And then we also have in cases where we have laparectomy, where they will make an incision in your stomach and evacuate it. And there are cases of removal of the entire uterus. There are some cases whereby the entire uterus in some individuals where um, perhaps they're no longer betting, you can decide to remove the entire uterus. Okay, and then in such cases we refer to it as hysterectomy. And then we have cases whereby you can do a uterine embolization. A uterine fibroid embolization is just like we are distorting or stopping blood supply to the fibroid. Whatever that gives that fibroid blood that helps it to grow is being terminated. I'm actually using layman's words right now. It is being terminated so that blood stops supplying the fibroid and then it stops growing, it shrinks, and in most cases when you're done with the uterine fibroid embolization, you still go through maybe a laparoscopy or a laparectomy to evacuate it. So that's that for uterine fibroid embolization. And then there are some times that you might be giving birth control pills as well to help you for some time. But then those birth control pills, they're not also permanent cures. They're just like the temporal preparing you for a surgery. So that's that for the treatment regimens that we have. Then there are some times that people keep complaining that they had a surgery or they had a fibroid, they treated it and then it came back again, especially after your surgery. Now, it is very important for you to note that a surgery after age 36, okay, there are high chances of you having a reoccurring fibroid, and then of course, if you give birth after a childbearing after surgery can also expose you to recurrence of fibroids. And there are some times that we have smaller fibroids present, but perhaps by chance it wasn't picked out before the surgery. Those cases can as well lead you to um, having a fibroid again, a recurring fibroid. So in some cases, we always advise people once you go through a fibroid surgery, it is very important for you to avoid things that would distort your hormonal level, like estrogen, things that would cause a spike in estrogen level. For example, fruit foods like carbonated drinks, do away with them. We have those your pasta. I know you love pasta. I know you love white rice. Do away with them. They wouldn't help you at this moment. Basically, meals or food or things that are being refined, do away with them. You need more of natural things, especially the first few days after your surgery so that you don't have a reoccurrence or a spike in estrogen that can cause a reoccurrence. So thank you for staying with me to the very end. I hope you've had a better clarity on what fibroid is, and even in as much as we're still working on getting a better care, it is very important that when you go through a surgery, you should as well apply some of these tips I just added now so that you don't have a reoccurrence of fibroid. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. And of course, put your own comments if you've been through fibroid or maybe you know one or two that can help someone. Put it down in the comment section, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel so that you'd always get uh, exciting topics. And the next time I'll be coming on board, I'll be sharing a topic in your anatomy in degenerative diseases, and it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be excellent. It promises to be exciting. I love you. Stay tuned. Bye. Mwah.